What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. Today we're answering the question, how much does it cost to start a market garden? I wish someone had made this video for me multiple years ago, and so I'm going to give you some cold hard numbers and we're going to dive into it. Okay, so jumping right in, when you are starting a market garden, it takes money. I don't really care how you slice it. You might have people that say, hey, you can bootstrap it and, just start growing stuff and selling it with no money. I would argue differently. It just costs money to start any business. And if you're going to do it well and do it right and treat this thing like a business, it's going to cost some money, some upfront capital. And so starting off, this is kind of my list of things that I think in order to start a market garden and do it well, that you need. Now, you don't have to buy all these things at the same time. However, I think these are baseline items that you're going to need for a market garden. Now, these are expenses that exist assuming that you have the land base already. Maybe you have a half-acre lot that you're on, and so you're going to start a quarter-acre market garden. Maybe you have 10 acres. I don't know where you're at, but this is assuming that the land has already been taken care of and that you've got the land ready to go and start growing on. Starting out, I think one of the most critical pieces of infrastructure is going to be caterpillar tunnels. You can buy these from Farmer's Friend. It's just going to pay for itself very, very quickly. And so I've got $8,000. That should buy you a couple of caterpillar tunnels to start out with. I would encourage you to continue to reinvest and buy more caterpillar tunnels and get your entire farm under cover. It's going to increase your production a ton and it will pay for itself. The next one, that's $8,000 for two of them. The next thing is a greenhouse. It's going to cost you $3,000. Now you can get by with doing like an indoor grow rack greenhouse, which I have a video that I did on the past on it. I'll put a link above to that. And that works. However, I think long term, you're going to need to buy a greenhouse that is going to be able to handle microgreens, starting all your seeds. Like doing an indoor grow rack inside your house is just not a long-term solution. So we got $3,000 for that. Seed starting supplies, seed trays for microgreens, transplant trays. You can buy cheap stuff and get that expense down. However, at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. So if you buy high quality seed starting trays from like Bootstrap Farmer, Neversink Farm Tools, they're going to last a lot longer. So I've got $1,000 for that. You're going to need cold storage. Last year we tried the refrigerator method. We had 3 refrigerators in our garage that we stored our produce, and it just did not work. It worked. I'll take that back. It did work. But was it a good long-term solution? Absolutely not. We froze tons of products. Refrigerators aren't meant to be stuffed full of bags of spring mix. It is not going to work long term. So invest in a walk-in cooler. Your life will be so much more enjoyable on the farm. That was one of the biggest things that we faced last year that was so frustrating. So spend the money. You can get a CoolBot turnkey walk-in cooler, 6x6 for about $6,500. I would encourage you to spend the money on that. You could also build a CoolBot for maybe 3 or 4. But their turnkey system is really awesome. We just purchased that. The next thing you're going to need is compost. When you're preparing your ground for your, as you prepare your market garden beds, you're probably going to spend a couple grand bringing in compost because you're going to need to add that organic matter into your existing soil. The next thing is shade cloth and row cover. You're going to need these in the shoulder season, and you're going to need row cover in the shoulder season when you get those frosts and cold freezes. But you're also going to need shade cloth in the peak of the summer when it's 100 degrees. You're going to need shade cloth over your crops. We've got $1,000 for that. The other thing is landscape fabric. We grow a lot of our stuff in landscape fabric. It keeps the soil surface nice and cool, and so we have burnt holes in landscape fabric for our plantings. I also recommend putting a 6-foot wide strip of landscape fabric along the edges of your market garden so that you don't have grasses and weeds that are trying to creep in. Got $1,000 for that. Irrigation. These are rough numbers, guys, but irrigation, to do it right, depending on what you need, I've got $1,500. You may not use all that. The other thing is seed. I've got $500. You can get most of your seed from Johnny's. That's where we get the majority of our stuff. Seed's not cheap, so I've got $500. You may spend a little bit more, but a little bit less. If you're going to be selling at a farmer's market, you need a good farmer's market setup. We have boxes that are built to where we can stack our produce up. With a farmer's market, the saying goes, stack it high and watch it fly. If you stack that produce high, it looks like there's abundance. People are not going to come to your stand if you've got just a one little table and you've got, one little radish sitting on the table. they feel awkward going up to a table like that. They want to go to a farmer's market booth that looks professional, looks like you're running a business, not a hobby farm. And they want to go to where it looks like, man, there's a ton of abundance there. And so even if you're growing very, very small scale, you can stack that product high and people will come and they'll buy your product. So farmer's market setup, to do it right, I think you need $1,000, maybe a little less, depending upon if you've got some materials that you can get by with. Storage totes, I've got a couple $100. You're gonna need totes to store all this product in your cold storage. Logo, web design. This is something that I think people don't think about. You want to look like a business, not a hobby farm, okay? $200, that's just you kind of designing your own logo on, I think it's called My Free Logo Design, but you can download it for like $100. You need a website, y'all. Again, is this a business for you or is this a hobby farm? What do you want to come off to, to the consumer? I want to look like a business that is running this operation like a business. A couple $100 there. Licenses and insurance. Your local area may require that you get a business license. You do want to get some liability insurance. That may run a little bit higher, but I got $500 there. Farm store. I'm referring to this as an online farm store. You don't have to do this. I do recommend it. It's going to allow you to be able to make some more sales, is doing an online farm store where people can come and shop online, whether you're just doing Shopify or using a company like Barn to Door. We use Barn to Door. It's been really great. Other people have poor reviews or experiences with Barn to Door. However, Barn to Door has been great for us. It is a little bit pricey, but it allows us to be able to have those online sales. Packaging for all your products, I've got a few $100 in there. Quick hoops for the market garden beds that aren't covered by your caterpillar tunnels. You're gonna need some quick hoops to be able to put up shade cloth, row cover, things like that. You can make those. I've got $100 in there. You may spend more. And then I put miscellaneous for $1,000. You're gonna have other miscellaneous things that I have not listed here. And then the last thing you're gonna need is a wash pack setup. You can do this in your garage and you can get by with doing this cheaper or more expensive, but I've got $1,000 in there for that as well. Now you could spend $2,000 on a wash pack setup. It just depends on what you're wanting to do. So that's gonna bring your grand total to $29,100. Okay. So in my opinion, it takes about $30,000 to baseline start a market garden. So this is my number, y'all. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of comments saying, wow, that's way too much money to start a farm. You can just bootstrap it and great. Like if you want to look like a hobby farm and you want to look like you're bootstrapping it, not running this thing like a business, then go for it. But again, this is just my opinion. This is not absolute truth. It's my limited knowledge and my limited experience that I have, and this is my number, 30K. Okay, so if you want to do it well and you want to enjoy your journey, you want to enjoy starting a market garden, then I would argue you need about 30K to baseline initially invest into your business. So if you found this content helpful, hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions whatsoever about this, about market gardening, about homesteading, comment down below. I would love to help you. Look forward to seeing y'all on the next video.